What's going on, everybody? Welcome in for 30 Books in 30 Weeks. This is Marcy Batiste here. As you guys are coming in, feel free to share the video out. We're going to talk about how you turn your shoulda, coulda, woulda into will act now. And it's really just a shift, simple shift in your mindset. So we're going to talk about that real briefly today. As you guys come in, like I said, share the video out. And welcome. Invite some others into the conversation. I'm glad you're here. So, if you are joining in for the very first time and you've never done the 30 Books in 30 Weeks with me, well, I welcome you. We are in week 22. So it's been an exciting journey already, but we've still got a little bit of time left. Got about 8 weeks left, 2 months left. And my name is Marcy Batiste. I am America's #1 reality-based success and recovery trainer. Kind of two things that I like for people to know about me is I'm sold out to my happiness. It's my guiding light, and I live life on Mars. That is my personal mantra. And what those two things combined mean that I live a reality-based life. I operate in a space that makes me feel happy, allows me to operate from a place of sincerity, authenticity, and transparency. And it was a journey to get here. So the tips and tools and techniques and strategies and the ahas that we share in 30 Books in 30 Weeks is just my way to kind of give back some aha moments that help other people. Because one of the things that motivates me and inspires me and keeps me going every day is to be able to be the spark that ignites the light for somebody else to discover and embrace their own star power, whatever that looks like for them, so that they can then reach back and help somebody else along. Hey Jay, thanks for joining in. So that's a little bit about me. This week, week 22, we're in John Maxwell's book. It's called Success One Day at a Time. And it is just a series of little short stories. Some of them are just quotes from various people, John Maxwell and other influencers. And this book was given to me about 17 and a half years ago. It's traveled with me. It has inspired me. It has been the catalyst for a number of keynote addresses. And a great deal of the principles that are in this little book are near and dear to my heart. It's things that I live by every single day, and it's things that I'm able to share then with my coaching clients and again in my keynote addresses. So today's subject matter: how to turn your woulda, coulda, shoulda into will act now. And it's a simple shift, but one of the things that what inspired that thought today to share that lesson with you guys is a quote. It says, is by a woman named Stella Stewart, and it says, "Dream every day. Behind me is infinite power. Before me is endless possibility. Around me is boundless opportunity. Why should I fear?" Behind me is infinite power. Before me is endless possibility. Around me is boundless opportunities. Why should I fear? And when I look at, hey guys, thanks for joining in. When I look at and I think about the shoulda, coulda, wouldas that we live by, we live with oftentimes, it's a form of regret. You know, you're looking back and you're like, oh, I should have done this, or I could have done this better, or I wish I woulda. Those are all negative mindsets. It's a negative context in which you look at your experiences and you look at your life and you look at your past. More importantly, it's a negative context as far as how you perceive your future opportunities. What do you see as your potential? What do you see as your possibilities? If you're always looking at your possibilities through the rear view, you're always going to be behind. You're always going to feel like you need to catch up. And so you have to really shift that mindset to realize that if there are things that you find yourself saying, I woulda, coulda, shoulda, I wish I would have done this, I should have done this better, I could have went harder here, I wish I woulda, I shoulda, I coulda. That list goes on and on and on and on and on. And for me, you know, I looked at that with regards to my writing. When I was in high school, was heavy into journalism, was applying to journalism schools, had plans and visions of traveling the world to become this famous author who was just going to travel and meet, or famous journalist who was going to travel and meet all these people, like an international correspondent, basically. And then life happened. I had kids. I got married. I became a banker. I became a bank executive. And then I was stuck. And if I could tell you how many times in my life I would look back and I said, I wish I would have went ahead and finished my degree in journalism, even if I wasn't ever going to use it. Even if I was a banker, I wish I would have. I should have tried harder. I should have made more time. I could have probably still handled a full-time job and a full course load at school and been a mom. Those were the things, those were the challenges, those were the tracks that was playing in my mind. But life happened. I went on, like I said, bank executive. Everything was everything, but I wasn't fulfilled. And I found myself, at a point looking like, there's got to be more. There's got to be more. And then those woulda, coulda, shouldas popped up again. And here's what I learned. That when those woulda, coulda, shouldas pop up, you have to remind yourself that you woke up today. There's still time. We'll act now. So it doesn't matter what I could have done back then. What will I act on today? What will I act on now that's going to keep me from, in 5 years, looking back on today with a woulda, coulda, shoulda? Like, that's what you don't want to do. Once you recognize that that's within your realm of possibility, that potential exists, that will act now, what little step can I do today that may prevent 5 years down the road me looking back and saying, I wish I would have started then? And I think about that even with my weight loss journey. How many times we all say, oh, I gotta go on a diet. Oh, I shouldn't have ate that. Oh, I wish I could. Well, you can, but you have to act. You have to act now. There's no sense in waiting. There's no sense in starting the diet on Monday when you can start it on Thursday. You can start it, what's today? What's today? Today's Wednesday. You can start it on Wednesday. You don't have to wait till Saturday or Sunday or Monday or whatever. Everybody starts their diet on Monday. Why? You might gain 10 more pounds between Wednesday and Monday, depending on what you're eating, depending on how your body metabolizes. So don't woulda, coulda, shoulda. Convert that to a will act now mentality and challenge yourself anytime that woulda, coulda, shoulda pops up to ask yourself, what can I do now, in this moment, today, to start moving myself forward in the direction that I want to go? Because the last thing you want is 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, to be looking back saying woulda, coulda, shoulda. And this is what I know to be true. For me, all the years that I spent and wasted with my woulda, coulda, shouldas about becoming a journalist, once I switched that and I was like, will act now, what can I do now to fulfill my happiness, to enrich my life, what can I do now? I became an author. I became a coach. So guess what I get to do every single day? I get to write every single day. I get to meet people every single day. I get to talk to people every single day. I get to hear their stories, and I get to share experiences. And ultimately, that's what I always wanted to do. But what I didn't do back then was act. Will act now. Turn your woulda, coulda, shoulda into a will act now, and you'll get phenomenal results. You can't help but get results if you take action. So that's the word for the day. We're on week 22, 30 books in 30 weeks. This is the book by John Maxwell, Success One Day at a Time. Have an amazing day, guys, and thanks as always for living life on Mars. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow.